Hello everybody, I'm Fleexy, and this is Abiathar version 2.6.1, new and improved on v2.6. So, this is the second video changelog ever, so I suppose let's start seeing some changes. Now, the first thing you'll notice here is these. Look at these. These are plain name labels, and these are, well, first, to show new users what these tile bays are all about. Indicates that this part applies to the background, this part to the foreground, and this to the info plane. And these have different backgrounds because if I was to disable one of those planes, I'm going to strike the 2 key now, it removes the colored background on the foreground plane. So this makes it easy to see at a glance which of your planes are active, and also it lets you do kind of a strobe effect if you press your 1, 2, and 3 keys really quick. That's great. And if you really are offended that I would be so terrible as to waste some vertical real estate on these labels, you can disable them in the config file. It's editor.aconf, I think it's called show plane names or something like that. Next, there have been some adjustments to the find mode. Still here, find highlight. Notice that now there's a pulse checkbox so that it's not so hidden that you can, click on it. Now you just check this pulse box, and it will begin pulsing as you expect. And there's now little separators so you know that these have their own deal. The H hotkey is now a tri-state toggle, so if I press H on my keyboard, it will enable the find highlight. If I press it again, it'll start pulsing, and if I press it once again, everything will vanish. Thanks to Wiven for suggesting that. Good idea! Make stuff better. Next, we have some new menu items under plane. Yes, those are plane. Enter ID. This actually just does the same thing as if you right-clicked on the selected tile in the tile bay. Produces this. Lets you enter whatever tile you want to place in the background. Let's see, I wanted tile 2, 6, 4. I don't know what that is. It is black. Great. But yes, you can now press Alt 1 to do the background. For example, if we wanted to enter a hexadecimal value like AE31, that's probably way beyond the end of the background tiles. It is. And so Abiathar will show it with the hex composite, as you do. And Alt 2, of course, does the foreground. Alt 3 does the info plane, just as you expect. And those have been placed here so as to make them more discoverable to new users. As you can see, if I was to right-click this, you'll get the same ID entry that has been around since pre-alpha, since this was called Fudge. But if you right-click the info plane or press Alt 3, you get something a bit different. This is the info plane helper, and it lets you create info plane values for the world map. It's pretty neat. It's been around since version 1.2, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's that. Under lone editing, some people were uncertain as to whether it actually did anything. It's not a placebo, people. It does stuff. If I was before, it would not do anything on startup. But if it was enabled when you switch tile palettes, it would do sort of the key next mode and make it so that only the plane whose tile palette you just switched to was active. Now, if I press M to enable it or use that menu item, it will only enable the plane whose tile palette is currently being viewed. And if I was to press the 8 key to switch to the foreground, you'll see that the foreground becomes active. Same for 9, the info plane, and of course if I mouse over here and use the 1, 2, or 3 keys, it does exactly what you would expect. Let's press M to disable that and put these on so you can get the full effect of the cyan gradient. Okay, now the hotkeys on the row adjuster and column adjuster have been switched. I noticed that they were basically impossible to remember which was which. I can always remember that, oh, they're E and D, but which one is which one? I can never remember. But then I noticed a brilliant possible mnemonic. The E key on your keyboard is in a row right next to the R key for row, and the D key is right next to the C for column, sort of in a column. So I tried it, and it didn't work, because the hotkeys were switched. So now I switched them, and now it makes sense. If I press E, you get the row adjuster, and you press D, you get the column adjuster. And if you're wondering why they were originally set to D and E, it's because I was running out of keys on the keyboard. Also explains why grid is Y. Why? My. Some bugs have been fixed. For example, when you did a reload graphics, Shift-Enter, which works with most tools, but some tools hijack the Enter key. For example, the paster lets you switch its non-zero mode. You can always just do View, Reload Graphics. But it would leave the Graphics Reload in Progress label down here for a while. But I fixed that, it no longer does that, so when it's done, you get your tool names back. There had been a crash previously, crash bug, with the very, very edge. If you managed to click on the first pixel in the tile palette, it would crash. It doesn't anymore. So that's good. And the tile property modifier, Control P to activate that. Oh, this tool is very complicated. It is indeed. Let's see. Before, in last version, its animation highlight was broken. It was not showing up. Now it does. Notice that when I click a tile, it highlights the one it animates to. Neat feature. It's been around since version 1.1, but was broken last time. And so, that is that. This is Abiathar version 2.6.1 working as intended. I am Fleexy, and I will see you in the next update. Happy modding.